I'm Wes, and I'm on a never-ending quest to beat absolutely every game in existence. The great, the mediocre, and the completely unplayable. Welcome to Backlog Buster. But today I've got something a little different. I've beaten Dead Rising, like, a lot. But I've always abused the best weapons. Mannequin torsos, the 3-book buffed small chainsaw, and the real Mega Buster. Now there's a question burning a hole in my wrinkle-free brain. What if I couldn't use any of it? Could I complete Dead Rising and become a legendary challenge completer? Or would I just expose myself as an out-of-touch gaming geezer? So today we're going to answer the question, can you beat Dead Rising without using any weapons? Let's establish the ground rules first. Dead Rising is a game where you can use anything as a weapon. The mall is filled with everyday items you can use to bash zombies' heads in. The primary rule of this challenge is no weapons of any kind. I'm not going to be allowed to pick up anything that has an attack option. That means the only things that I can put in my inventory are healing items and books. The no weapon stipulation extends to vehicles, like cars and motorcycles. This is going to apply to skateboards as well. Skateboards are already kind of weapons anyways, but it's all off the table. I'm also going to go for the only meaningful ending that any Dead Rising game has. This is completing all of the cases and then overtime mode to get ending S. I'm gonna be doing my darn tootness to be hunting down every psychopath and at least see every survivor. Oh yeah, no New Game Plus either. Starting fresh on a brand new profile for this one. The only way to start a challenge run. Right away, on the trip to the mall is the camera tutorial. This is a prime opportunity for photographs. Photos are going to be one of the only ways we can reasonably level up. Getting the major events in this segment is actually pretty important. As soon as you land at the mall, you get a photo refresh, so dumping all 30 photos is definitely happening. At the mall, it's down to the entrance plaza. Just for the heck of it, I spent some time running around the locked portion of the entrance plaza. Every store is locked, so there's not much point to this, but it is time to start the party. Oh no! Zombies got in the mall! And the challenge starts for real. Not a single weapon will enter Frank's hands. First things first, we have to grab 2 bags of chips. This is actually critical to our strategy. You can actually grab a few photos along the way for some bonus PP before heading up. Now we're out to the rooftop, and the first 2 survivors we can actually rescue are here. Jeff and Natalie are freebie rescues, and they also have a photo op. After the rescue, I'm going to snag some more photos of zombies for PP gains. Then, back inside with Jeff and Natalie for the final rescue. Not gonna lie to you, this playthrough is going to be very difficult unless we can level up quickly. We get the jump kick unlocked at level 3, so we have an attack that's actually useful. Down in the warehouse, a handgun gets forced into your inventory, so challenge invalidated. Nobody saw anything. Dropped. Off to Cam's camera to refill the battery, then it's time to hit up the mall PP bonuses. Smacking around the serve bot to align the head gets you 10,000 PP, and that's most of a level. Now it's off to good old Colombian Roastmasters. There's some special tack involving the blender. 2 snacks into the blender makes a Spitfire. A couple of coffee creamers and orange juice into the blender makes a Quick Step. We'll get more info on these puppies shortly. It's time to head to the food court for backup for Bradley. And inside, Brad forces another gun into our inventory. Can you please just let me do the challenge run in peace? Please? You gotta take on Carlito, and without weapons, it's gonna be a bit of a doozy. Chugging a Quick Step greatly increases Frank's run speed, and it's the only way to close the distance to Carlito and his P90. And nearly instantly killed by Carlito's karate kicks. Thank God I saved. Back to the food court, and this time I eked out a level from photos. That extra health block is gonna pay dividends. I can feel it. This time I'm just gonna run it down. Brad watches as I run Frank's huge body into hundreds and hundreds of bullets. Brad was safely monitoring the situation, and that's a spicy meatball. After I got Carlito to around 70% health through sheer willpower, I needed a heal. Time to test out the Spitfire. Once consumed, the Spitfire makes Frank spit the power of handgun bullets. This is not technically a weapon, but it's strong like one. An exposed shoulder is all it takes. Get spat on to death, bro. That's easily one of the scariest parts of the challenge done. Once Frank starts getting some levels under his belt, this should get significantly easier. Now it's time to restock. Off to Frozen Dreams. 2 ice pops in a blender makes a Spitfire. Then head next door and 2 cooking oils from Jade Paradise makes another Spitfire. The 2 milks and frozen dreams make a quick step, and a yogurt and milk makes 1 more quick step. Now it's time to tackle some of the mall PP bonuses. Off to Chris's Fine Foods to start smashing the plates. Thankfully, my Spitfire was still active from the Carlito fight, just spit blasting all of these collectible plates to dust. It's off to Flexin' for some exercise. Running on every treadmill is a solid 2000 pp a pop. Next is to smash all of the heavy bags with your fists. This is pretty slow, but we've got nothing better to do and time to kill. 1 eternity and level later, and we're moving on to the entrance plaza. After talking to old Dr. Barnaby, we have some tasks to do. First off is to rescue Bill in the closet. He's trapped behind boxes that by challenge criteria we're not allowed to pick up. 1 more Spitfire burned. Dozens of spits spat, and Bill is freed from his cardboard box prison. With this Spitfire active, I'm going to spin the display racks. These basically are impossible to turn with your fist, so I need something with a little more juice. 2 racks spun on the top floor with my spit, then dropped down, and the remaining 2 racks spun for that sweet 10,000 pp bonus. Now it's off to the Sinister Read for the World News Book. This gives you bonus PP for all survivor-related activities. Rescuing every survivor is going to be super difficult, but bonus PP for join-ups alone is going to make this worth holding on to. And we are going to try for the Saint playthrough. And speaking of Saint, Bill actually managed to make it back to the entrance plaza with me by some miracle. Now it's time for a little bit of science! In Colombian Roastmaster's Cafe, you can combine a pie and a milk for a zombate. This is the only hope I have for a Saint playthrough, so pray for me. After a lengthy conversation, Leah joins up with us. Of course, Bill immediately dies. Well, you technically have 1 survivor buffer, so we can still get Saint. Leah's getting dropped off somewhere relatively safe for the time being. Bert and Aaron have barricaded themselves in Weber's garments. I'm burning the second Spitfire here to break the barricade with Frank's superpowered spit. Thankfully, I got inside and immediately ate a pipe to the back of the head. Thanks, Aaron. Throwing some hands, and Bert and Aaron become receptive to joining up. A quick pickup of Leah, and we're heading through Leisure Park. The convicts spawned, unsurprisingly. Rescuing Sophie is a priority, but she just keeps on running away. The convicts got stuck on the trees as usual. Also, by some miracle, the survivors decided to acquire some wrinkles in their brains and actually managed to get back to Paradise Plaza. Back just in time to finish Cut from the Same Cloth with Kent. Everyone's gonna wait in Colombian Roastmasters while we do some photography shenanigans. Got a quick steppy down to Cam's camera for batteries and into the bookstore for the Photography 1 book first. A few pictures of some of Kent's cool poses, and we're done with him for now. Back to the security room with all of our survivors. The Queen cutscene happens here, but we're not allowed to use Queens, so it's not important. 1 quick picture of the vent and a lock-in for a future set of survivors. Everyone's back in, and that's 2 more levels. Now it's back to the food court for some more zombates and Spitfires, and we are gonna need them. Now we get the call. Time for Adam the Clown. This boss fight is the bane of many new Dead Rising players. Thankfully, I'm something of a Dead Rising expert myself. It's all about taking safe damage on Adam. The jump kick is the only move we have that's actually usable at this point. After Adam uses a flame breath, you can give him a jump kick. After any spins, jump kick. There's barely anything else to do tonight, so I can take all the time in the world for this fight. So I'm playing on PS4, and the increased frame rate actually makes Adam capable of 100 to 0ing you. I think I've proven my point here. This is where the Spitfire comes in. Trapped in Coconut Sports Town, Frank's superpowered spit banishes Adam to the Shadow Realm. Don't worry, Frank won't get charged with murder. It was self-defense, see? Right up there in the top right corner. Now it's time to rescue Gregory. Ripping a zombate here to give Greg some breathing room, and the still active Spitfire makes this easy. Just kidding, Greg will just not move. I want this shortcut so badly that I'm willing to invest everything it takes to get Greg to that restroom. Finally clear. Greg actually makes it after I sacrifice my own body to ensure his safety. Shortcut status activated. Sweet mother of mercy, Greg, please just get in the elevator. 1 more successful rescue down. I think it's time we stop using the elevator and use the alternative warehouse entrance. Just can't deal with the zombies in it right now. Few more survivors to get in the first night. This is you and Shinji, the Japanese tourist, and David Bailey. Despite just opening the shortcut, I decide to hoof it across the parking lot dodging the convicts. What is wrong with me? Back to the food court for more quick steps, Spitfires, and zombates, and then it's back to Wonderland Plaza for the tourists. Thankfully, the Japanese translation book isn't a weapon, and they join up. Back to the science. Initial findings for zombates are the following. They feel reasonably impactful in actually making zombies ignore your survivors, so, seems positive. You and Shinji successfully rescued, sponsored by Zombade. Who would have thunk that the intended purpose of these juices would actually work? One last survivor, but it's time for a quick detour. Off to Colombian Roastmasters to make some quick steps, and this time, Untouchables. This is going to be invaluable for the next stage. The maintenance tunnels are a death trap without a vehicle. The Untouchable prevents getting grabbed, making this a lot safer to get through. Maintenance tunnel key acquired. Thankfully, we made it out of that death trap. Now it's time to get into the North Plaza, and oh look, it's David Bailey and his food pile. Sounds like it's my food pile now. David's an easy rescue, because you get to give him the shoulder. Haul him back to the safe house, and that's one more survivor rescued. There's nothing left to do tonight. It's time for something erotic. Sophie's just sitting there, and I've got a camera. 600 to 700 pp a pop. There's nothing better to do right now, especially since I can't use weapons or drive around the maintenance tunnels in a car. I managed to get to level 17 by taking photos of Sophie throughout the night. Morning rolls around and it's time for the next set of cases. I still have no useful skill moves for unarmed attacks. The good ones really don't start showing up until like level 30. The entrance plaza is open now and it's time for Carlito 2, Sniper Boogaloo. A quick steppy and some serpentine running around and the distance is closed. Brad, by some miracle, is actually shooting Carlito as well. This man's just too fast though. The jump kicks are only shaving the hairs off his back. Carlito makes a bold decision to enter the shoe store. He's promptly cornered by Brad and I. Brad manages to fire off dozens of bullets as Carlito turned Frank into a pancake over and over again. Eventually I got away, chugged a Spitfire, and spat holes through Carlito for the second time. Brad got shot in a cutscene though, and that's the most powerful gunshot of them all. Brad needs some meds, and there are some survivors to deal with, but we're out of Spitfires. A quick detour to the food court and it's off to Sion's Food and Stuff. Steven's just having a little bit of a bad day. Steven can easily be baited with some clever usage of the aisles in Sion's Food and Stuff. When he gets stuck, there's a chance to kick him in the back. Of course, he can kick you from the back. Thankfully, there's unlimited healing items in here, so as long as I get a chance to heal, I just can't lose. That being said, time is a factor. I'm chugging another Spitfire to speed this up. I really don't like resorting to Spitfires, but our damage output is so low at this point with our fists that I'm genuinely concerned about timing out. Steven spat to death. One more psychopath down. We are definitely on a time crunch to get the meds back to Brad though. Ross and Tanya are gonna have to wait. The cases are the priority. Brad got his meds and awooga! That's going in my personal collection. Maybe a couple more for the road, you know, just for that PP engorgement. I'm already behind on the timeline, so this is an absolute rush job. The only chance we have of getting these survivors back is with Zombades, so a quick mix and we're off. When you're under the time crunch, you just don't have time to appreciate the flavor text. These conversations feel like they take forever. Ross wants a gun, but I'm not allowed to pick up weapons. I can't carry the gun, Mr. Ross, but I can carry you. The Zombate wears off and Tanya is still miles away. She's a real trooper, but by some miracle, she actually made it to the restroom shortcut. Unfortunately, I really gotta hoof it to not miss the case. And oh great, there's Heather and Pamela. Well, all survivors completely failed. Ross got rescued at least, and the professor's past was completed. But it's not over yet. Run like the wind, Frank, we can still save Tanya. Dead. We can still save Pamela. Zombie and Spitfire, give me your power. Whoops. Just in time to realize I had the double lariat maneuver. Come with me if you want to live, Heather. Every single scoop is red. Kent, I have your erotic pics, wait for me. After both of our PPs get engorged with some mutual appreciation of photography, it's time for more scoops. Ronald's here, so I'm going to at least rescue him, until I realize he's barricaded inside Jill's sandwiches. Time to test out the double lariat on this barricade. After breaking all of Frank's toes, I actually managed to get Ronald out of there. But then Ronald got stuck. I'm out of time, I gotta go. Off to Alfresca Plaza to make some zombates and then off to rescue Gordon. Couple of boots to the face with Frank's broken toes and Gordon's in. Hatchet Man's red and we gotta get that one. There's absolutely no chance I beat Cliff without some Spitfires, so it's a quick detour to the food court. Trying to get Gordon back to the shortcut, I passed through Wonderland Plaza and Nick and Sally spawned. I just don't have time. I have to do Hatchet Man. See you around. Don't hang around too long. Gordon's status, abandoned. Hoofing it all the way to Chryslip's to fight Cliff now. I see Cliff is a Dark Souls player and intimately familiar with the lag stab. There's just no time. I have to beat Cliff and I gotta do it fast. I gotta chug the Spitfire, there's no other way. This is easily the scariest fight I've ever had versus Cliff. The guy's just insane. Thankfully, my inventory is full of healing items because that's all I can carry. A couple final spit blasts and Cliff's done. His fate sealed by a single jump kick. Now I've got the empty store key. It's right beside Chryslip's. This has 3 survivors and the wrestling book, which significantly increases Frank's unarmed attack power. You all saw it. It says right there, significantly. Barbara, Rich, and Josh all rescued. Another source is red, so we really gotta move. Back in Paradise Plaza, Jennifer gets put in the box. I just don't have time for this, man. Rush in, open the box, dodge the pocket sand, and I'm out of there. I surprise myself sometimes. I got a zombie active, but I really have to get back for the case. I can't miss it. These survivors are gonna have to wait in Paradise Plaza. Rip up the warehouse to the roof and inside with time to spare. Now to get back down and try and save our 4 survivors. Well, 3. Barbara's gonna be a lost cause. Well, Rich made it at least. Josh and Jennifer are gone. Time for Above the Law, and I'm out of drinks. Quick detour to the food court for more Spitfires, Quick Steps, and Zombates. Now it's time for the next psychopath, Jo. She's torturing 4 women in the women's clothing store. There's always time for a ride on the Space Rider, though. Since I left and came back to Wonderland Plaza, it's only Jo and Kay in here. Whoops. Not gonna lie, admiring the absolute size of this lad. Thankfully, with the wrestling book in our hands, it actually makes our unarmed power worthwhile. Taste the lariat. Jo down and Kay survived. Too bad she won't follow me and she won't let me hold her hand, so, I got stuff to do in the entrance plaza. See ya! Ah yes, the most dangerous prey of all. Man. These snipers are definitely hard to catch, even with a quick step active. Thankfully, if you're skilled, you can corral them a bit into a corner and occasionally get a hit with the lariat or other fist attacks. But the whole family of snipers just refused to enter stores, so the Spitfire it is. Except for Jack here, who rushed a spinning Frank on the escalator. Smart. Time for the survivors in the entrance plaza. Pick up Wayne, head down to Jolie and get her, then back up to grab Floyd. Wayne here got grabbed while Floyd gabbed. One eternity later, we've got Floyd. Now there's a wholesome moment with Rachel and Jolie. All entrance plaza survivors acquired. Floyd gets to become a backpack, so at least one of them is coming back to the security office with me. Zombate active, Wayne ungrabbed, but these 2 ladies just don't understand staircases. Now this normally isn't useful, but the Juice Boost book is right here and we'll actually get value out of it this playthrough. Quick trip into the bookstore to grab it, and by the blessings of the AI, every survivor made it back to the security room. Except Rachel, but who cares about her? Girl hunting's red. I think we can make this work though. I gotta restock, so it's a quick trip back to the food court for more juice. With the Juice Boost book in hand, it makes all of the juices you mix while holding the book last twice as long. This effect persists after you drop the book. Again, casually, pretty useless. In this playthrough, well, no reason not to. Time for Biker Babe Isabella. Be brave, line it up, and jump kick. Listen, you don't need to be good when you have tons of healing items. Oh, what? Frank, what are you doing? Well, people might get the wrong idea. Now we've got nothing to do except wait for the next case. Restock City, here we come. And Cletus is still up. Oh my god, we can do all the psychos. We got this, we got this. Run up and try and slug him with some fists. Oh my god. Frank can't reach over the counter. Maybe jump over the counter? Oh, instantly counter thrown. Back for round 2. Let's try spitfiring again. Well, this does basically no damage, and the shotgun's constantly stun locking me. I honestly don't know how to approach this guy right now. Roundhouse kick might work, but I can only get one off before I get command grabbed and instantly thrown away, only to eat more shotgun bullets. I just can't aim fast enough on console to stun lock him with Spitfires either. He just counterattacks me too fast. Listen, I'm not saying it's impossible, but Cletus status abandoned. We tried, friends. Now it's time to wait in Sion's food and stuff. Then it's off to find Isabella. Pick up Kindle along the way for all that extra PP. Inside the store, a quick judo kick is all it takes to rescue Isabella from that zombie. Kindle got stuck. Well, later, dude. Pro tip here, don't go into the water with Isabella. Very, very bad idea. Stick to the pathway. After that disaster piece, I got Isabella back to the safe house. Now, there's survivors and a psycho in the movie theater, but do I have enough time before Santa Cabeza? A couple of zombates later, and let's give it a go. These cultists are throwing more pocket sand than I've ever seen in my entire Dead Rising career, and it's been a long one. But finally we get through and we can tackle Sean. Oh, the classic duel. Foot versus sword. Some secret tech here. Getting Sean stuck in between the seats and giving him the classic lariat maneuver. I remember hearing somewhere that if you stand up on the ledge, Sean can't hit you. Well, whoever said that was a massive liar, because here he is. Round 2, I guess. New test, the knee drop. Why did I forget this exists? This move rocks the house. Lariats and knee drops, and it's one Sean down. Now for the remaining cultists, I will utilize the immortal words of Sun Tzu. Spin to win, baby! Now for the 5 survivors in here, all rescued, and I got pushed to level 29. The Brainwashing Tips book is also here, so we may as well pick it up. It allegedly improves survivors, but we'll see about that one. Listen, if I can get all survivors back before Santa Cabeza ends, I will be shocked. I know I'll be able to get back, but these clowns probably won't. Nathan, come on, please, let's go. I get outside the theater and chug in a zombie, and then the call for Santa Cabeza happens. Let's pray that they won't be idiots. Have faith in the zombie and the Brainwashing Tips book. Uh-oh, what a surprise, it does nothing. I already got a PP bonus from these jokesters, I'm off. Santa Cabeza completed. My god, they're all still alive. I can save them. And there goes Cheryl, then Michelle, then Nathan, then Beth. I can still save Ray. Oh, well, okay then. Brainwashing Tips sure was useful, but it's a new hour, and that means new survivors. Gil's in the food court. Damn, Frank with some pretty serious threats here. You're gonna get your ass eaten if you stay here? Damn, is Frank the villain? Gil's an easy rescue. Shoulder carry all the way back to Wonderland Plaza's restrooms, and then back to the security office. A hidden set of survivors has also spawned, and we got the call for long-haired punk. May as well take on Paul now, he's a psychopath. I've got a secret technique up my sleeve for Paul. Just get him to run into your double lariat. Well, that was some pretty serious damage. I bet I can keep him in here, and he's gone. If Paul runs, this fight is just a nightmare. He just rips around chucking bombs. Thankfully, I can occasionally catch him with a jump kick. I thought I could wait for Paul to tucker himself out, so I went back into the store to rescue the girls, and then I told them to wait inside. Unfortunately, I am now out of quick steps, so this is just an awful fight. I've just about had enough. It's Spitfire time. Oh nice. Taste the Stare Lariat. Alright, I'll hold off on the Spitfire. Thankfully, I did catch him a couple of times with the Lariat and he's going down. But I've run into a problem. Fire extinguishers are technically weapons. Well, what a shame. I'll try and help by snuffing out the flames. Well, it's over for you, Paul. Serves Paul right for giving me the runaround. Oh right, and kidnapping those 2 women. Speaking of, let's get these girls back. Debbie just wouldn't stop fighting the zombies. Mindy got the memo, so let's go, girl. It occurs to me at this moment that I probably missed the gun shop survivors. Oh well, live and learn. Mix in some juices here in the food court. We get a call and Leroy and Susan are in Wonderland Plaza now. Leroy is a relatively painless join-up. Susan's going to be a bit of a workout. Just gonna double lariat all around the soccer ball until it's clear. I wonder how Leroy's doing. Oh, dead? Okay, moving on. Susan got swarmed. Unfortunately, the only way to reasonably help her is to spam the double lariat, and if she gets caught, well, that's gonna be an unfortunate accident, but, you know. Take my hand, Susan. Take my good hand. It's back to the security room now. May as well check the North Plaza to see if those gun store survivors are there. And holy hell, they're actually here. Johnny Boy finally convinces the group to join after seeing the picture we took at the beginning of the game. No, not that picture. The other one. That's a pleasant surprise. Well, let's see if we can get all these guys back to the security office. Uh-oh. Last resort needs to be finished, like, right now. Bye-bye! Back through the shortcut and back to the security office. 3 more dead survivors. Back in, and it's time for Bomb Collector. Just kidding, Bomb Collector is actually a super low priority. Kent's final photo challenge is up. I need a restock anyway, so it's off to Colombian Roastmasters. This is where the Battle of the Dragon Kicks commences. I guess he's winning for now. Thankfully, Kent's willing to run directly into double lariats. He got trapped in the corner and uh-oh. Let's try that again. Quick, Ted, help me. Ted, do something. I'm not gonna mess around this time, so super spit it is. Battle of the Dragon Kicks resumes though. Oh god, not this again. Blessed by the infinite orange juice cooler. Finally, a lariat and Tad giving him a sucker punch and it's all over. Now we know the outcome of the Chad, professional photojournalist, versus the virgin amateur hobbyist. Well, Tad actually managed to help. That may be the most surprising thing that's happened so far in this challenge. You earned this orange juice, friend. After the cutscene, Simone should be up, so that's a quick rescue from the CD store. Remember those? I'm old enough to. Double rescue, and those are the last survivors in the game. Now it's time for Bomb Collector. This is in the maintenance tunnels, so we're gonna have to do a little bit of prep. I do have a secret technique that needs testing, though. Back to Colombian Roastmasters for some untouchables. Thankfully, I have some quick steps still stockpiled, so that's handled. Back down to the restrooms, quick save, and we're down into the tunnels. No cars allowed. Quick step and untouchable only. Big steppy through the tunnel, and we gotta get those bombs. all the way to the first truck, the hardest one to get to. Snatched up and oh my god, he's here. Must go faster. Bob and weave. Serpentine. Dodge the van. Thank god I made it out of there. That's the hardest part completed. Now we're back topside in the mall. Off to the entrance plaza, now down to the maintenance tunnels again, and it's a quick in, grab the bomb, and get out. Alfresco Plaza's up next. Down the tunnel, grab the bomb, head back topside. 2 left. Quick juice restock at the food court, that's just efficiency. Now for Wonderland Plaza's bomb. Down to the tunnels, grab the bomb, and oh hi Carlito. Now back up to the mall, 1 left. Thankfully the last bomb is under Sion's food and stuff. Everything's free today, so we can heal up and then go to the back to go back down into the tunnels. Rip another untouchable, I need quick step. Grab the next bomb. Bob and weave and hustle those buns back to the exit. Done and done. Imagine being Carlito. Your plan stopped almost entirely by a photojournalist that you invited. I'm still all juiced up, so let's go check to see if Brad's okay. He ain't gonna be in Dead Rising 2. Brad status suplexed. Snuff shot B achieved. Back to the mall. I need queens for overtime mode. I know this is technically a weapon, but I need it for overtime mode. No time like the present to get started on collecting those queens. Otherwise, I just have to fail jamming device and get ending A. Nah, man. It's always ending S or bust in Dead Rising. Back to the security office and time to wait for the next case. Okay, Isabella, let's find Carlito's hideout. Should've made some zombates. Time to resort to old favorites. Jump kicks and the double lariat. Thankfully, we actually have the double lariat. Getting Isabella back to the hideout without it would be brutal. Brutal! Now inside, we have to head back to the security office now and then off to meat processing via the Sion's tunnel entrance, after a sampling of some steak tartare. Larry uniquely starts this fight non-aggressive, so you get the alpha strike. Ki-yaw! Larry's actually pretty challenging in this no weapons challenge. Usually just carve him in half with a small chainsaw in 2 seconds, but this is actually brutal. Brutal! Double lariat and jump and judo kicks, here we go. Meat hooked, tackled, chopped in half, entire sides of beef thrown at you. I will drink every single juice in my inventory if it means eking out a victory. Dear Diary, today I learned that Larry can eat disgusting giblets out of his slop bucket to restore health. You can't beat Larry's meat for a tasty treat. Damn, barely lost. Round 2 went about the same. Apparently if you whip out your camera while meat hooked, you get off immediately. Dead by Daylight lads, jealous of that, no doubt. Chugging juices, and getting chip damage on Larry whenever I can. And I finished him off with the old ball buster. At least Carlito's proud of all the work he's done. You know, taking pride in your work is something that I think we can all relate to. Time to kill waiting for memories. I'll be monitoring the situation until then. Back to the security office, mixing a slew of nectars at Colombian Roastmasters first. 1 cutscene later and a photograph of Zombie Jesse for Snuff Shot J, and we're done in here. Spec Ops are here now. I could go fight them to level up, but let's just chill out for about an hour. 1 hour later, and it's back to the heliport. Time for overtime mode. Ripping through the mall, avoiding as much as I can. It's just straight through to Wonderland Plaza to get back to Paradise Plaza. Head up to Sport Trance to get the cold spray, then across the hall to grab the blender. Next it's down to Cam's camera to grab the developing solution, and then quickly into the warehouse. Dodge the Spec Ops by climbing back up in the warehouse and then into the security office. Yoink the coffee filters and then head through the unwelded door to the entrance plaza. Down to Sports High for the cam stove and then north to Estelle's for the perfume bottle. Back to Paradise Plaza and we're snatching up the weekly photo magazine to help us spot queens later. Back through the shortcut to Wonderland Plaza. Straight into Wonder Jewels here to Donkey Kong through the Spec Ops to get that magnifying glass. Back up to Sion's food and stuff for the last item. This place is a literal fortress of Spec Ops. Run straight through tanking bullets. Then it's down to the maintenance tunnels and back up to instantly de-aggro the Spec Ops. Man, that's smart. Why do I never do that? I guess sometimes I do have my moments though. Heal up and snatch the first aid kit and head back to Isabella. I sure hope Capcom Vancouver looks at this list when they use it as a direct plot point for Dead Rising 3. Off to get a Jenny now. Snatch up a couple of queens along the way. 8 banked so far. Jenny acquired. Back to the hideout. Dumping queens at Isabella. Only a couple left. Time for some prep before the finale. With an empty inventory, it's time to snatch up 2 quick queens on the way to Wonderland Plaza. Into Paradise Plaza for some orange juice, and we finally killed 1,000 zombies barehanded. Trophy acquired. Final preparations, I want an Energizer. This is a quick mix of a Zombate and a Randomizer in the food court. This is of course after dealing with a bunch of Spec Ops. Sucks I ditched the Wrestling book for queens earlier. Energizer acquired, and then one final Spitfire. Done and done, let's finish this game. Back to Isabella, and the last queens are handed in. The escape sequence isn't too bad, you're just staying close to Isabella and spamming the double lariat or the wall kick. Through to the final area, and the end is in sight. The escape jeep. Clear the Spec Ops and chug the Energizer and the Spitfire and hop on in. Juice effects persist through this rail shooter segment. That extends to the Energizer and its invincibility effect. This fight's easy enough, but with the Energizer, we literally cannot die. Brock's up next. We're still juiced up on Spitfire though. Down to the lower level of the tank, and we're gonna spit on Brock until he dies. I'll cheese it. You can't use weapons on Brock anyway since your inventory is stripped on you. And I've fought Brock barehanded a dozen times before. That's Dead Rising completed without using a single weapon. How about a little post-mortem? Dead Rising with no weapons was completed in a single 10-hour, 12-minute, and 37-second session, watching every single cutscene. I died a total of 5 times, all to psychopath battles. First was to Food Court Carlito, the very elusive Cletus, I Like That Jump cult leader Sean, Erotic Photo and Dragon Kick enjoyer Kent, and finally to Take Me to the Slot Bucket Larry the Butcher. With the no weapons challenge complete, the next question burning a second hole in my brain is, would a Saint playthrough with no weapons be possible? Starting at level 1, it's gonna be rough. You all saw the struggle. I was playing entirely from memory though. I just fired up the game one day and had at her. If I had to look at the timeline, I probably would have fared a bit better in not messing up some of the obvious survivors like Nick and Sally and Joe's 3 other ladies. But the answer is, yeah, Saint is probably doable without weapons. It would be ridiculously difficult, to the point I would say it's probably not worth the effort. If you practiced and spent a long time perfecting the routing, and made sure to constantly be stocked up on Spitfires and Zombates, and did a lot of save scumming, you could probably do it, as long as you got ungodly lucky and every single thing went your way. But that's for someone else to find out. Some young buck can come in and grind hundreds of attempts perfecting a no-weapon Saint playthrough with Dead Rising's brainless Survivor AI. I'm getting too old for that. If you started at level 50 on New Game Plus, it'd no doubt be way easier. You just have so much more health, attack power, and inventory space for juices at level 50. But is it really a challenge if you start at max level? I think it's completely irrelevant to this discussion. That's it for Dead Rising with no weapons. The legend of Frank West, aka Mr. Fister, is over. Or is it? Thanks for watching Backlog Buster. My Patreon supporters get a super exclusive double thank you. Thank you to all of the Patreon supporters of Backlog Buster. You're greatly helping me continue to make videos and not get made destitute by Adobe. Somebody has to pay the multi-million-dollar corporation. If you enjoyed the video, you can subscribe to the channel so you never miss another one. If you want to continue to support the channel, you can check out the Patreon. You can also check out the various playlists for more content. There's one for Classic Backlog Buster, one for Backlog Buster Challenger for gaming challenge videos, and Backlog Buster Platinum Hits for going for 100% completion and platinum trophies. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.